Something is shifting quietly inside the crypto market, and Shiba Inu is once again attracting the kind of attention that only appears before a significant move. Traders are whispering, analysts are alert, and long-term holders feel as if this consolidation is hiding something bigger. The question now is simple: can Shiba Inu finally push into a new range and make a real move toward 1,500 units? Let's break down today's signals, trends, and hidden clues step by step. Welcome to Dr. Crypto, your daily serving of Shiba. This is the spot for you if you're curious about anything related to Shiba. If you want to keep informed about all the latest news forecasts and stay ahead of the crypto industry, subscribe. To get more Shib news, be sure to click the like button. Please note that by the time you see this video, some rates may have changed. Financial advice is not included in this video. Shiba Inu has spent most of 2025 locked inside a tug-of-war between accumulation pressure and sideways consolidation. It is no longer the explosive meme coin of early cycles, where any tweet or rumor triggered instant volatility. Instead, the token behaves like a project growing into its long-term ecosystem. As the community expands, Shibarium evolves, and burn participation increases, Shiba Inu now requires structural catalysts rather than hype waves to move significantly. Across this year, analysts have watched a noticeable change in investor behavior. Enthusiasts no longer chase sudden pumps or emotional rallies. They evaluate development updates, examine liquidity positions, and analyze the health of the ecosystem before reacting. This shift has created a new environment where consolidation is no longer seen as weakness, but as preparation. Calm markets often conceal bigger setups, and for Shiba Inu, this calmness seems to be hiding early signs of range expansion. When traders say Shiba Inu is eyeing a new range, they mean the token might be preparing to escape its tight sideways band and push into a higher zone. The idea of charging toward 1,500 units comes from studying these gradual shifts rather than expecting sudden miracles. As the market forms higher lows, reduces volatility, and builds consistent support layers, the probability of a breakout increases. And with the conditions forming around 19th November 2025, this possibility has never looked more realistic. Around mid-November, Shiba Inu began showing unusual accumulation behavior. Large amounts of tokens were quietly moving off exchanges at a pace the community had not seen in months. In one noticeable window, more than 207 billion tokens shifted from exchanges into private storage. Movements like this typically occur when long-term investors decide the price is undervalued and prefer to secure their holdings outside trading platforms. Fewer tokens on exchanges often translate to reduced selling pressure and stronger structural support. Market observers also noted that even when Shiba Inu experienced spikes in social engagement, the price refused to swing wildly. This is a major behavioral change compared to its earlier cycles. The token maintained a stable position within its consolidation band instead of reacting impulsively. Such stability during high engagement periods usually indicates that sophisticated players, often whales, are absorbing liquidity and preparing for strategic positioning. The final noteworthy development was the behavior of long-term technical indicators. Analysts tracking the weekly chart identified a rare formation where Shiba Inu's 50-week and 200-week moving averages were approaching a crossover. In the world of technical analysis, long-term moving average crossovers often signal major trend shifts. This was the first time Shiba Inu had displayed such a setup on a multi-year time frame. It suggested the token might be preparing for something far more significant than a routine rally. The market reaction across 19th November reflected a blend of patience and underlying strength. Trading volume consistently hovered above $130 million, showing that the community and institutional players were actively engaged. Yet despite the strong volume, the price remained calm, moving in a tight band near familiar ranges. Instead of volatile candles or emotional spikes, Shiba Inu showed controlled, steady motion. This behavior tells a powerful story. When strong volume does not create sharp price movements, it often means accumulation is underway. Large buyers typically accumulate in silence, preventing sudden pumps by absorbing liquidity gradually. This keeps the price steady and avoids drawing attention. Shiba Inu's behavior during this window aligned perfectly with classic accumulation behavior. The narrow band between 800 units and 900 units became a strategic zone. Buyers consistently stepped in when the token approached the lower side of this range, while sellers failed to drag it lower. This repeated defense forms what analysts call a strong foundation level. Each time the token rebounds from the same region, confidence increases. The challenge comes when visualizing the path toward 1,500 units. For Shiba Inu to reach this target, it must conquer several resistance layers formed during past trading cycles. But if accumulation continues and supply leaves exchanges, these resistance layers may weaken over time. Once the token clears the first major barrier of its consolidation, the climb toward 1,500 units becomes far more achievable. The on-chain data strengthens the argument for an upcoming range expansion. The moment massive amounts of tokens begin shifting from exchanges to private wallets, the probability of a long-term upward move rises. Investors withdraw tokens only when they plan to hold them, and when enough withdrawals occur, the available supply for selling decreases. This often leads to reduced market pressure and improved bullish potential. Whale wallet behavior further confirms this. Analysts observed clusters of large wallets accumulating around consistent price bands. This type of synchronized positioning indicates agreement on fair value. When whales accumulate in the same regions, they often form invisible support layers that smaller traders cannot easily break. Technical analysis adds even more depth to the narrative. The symmetrical triangle forming over multiple weeks represents a compression structure. Price compression typically signals that the token is preparing for a larger move. The longer this structure persists, the stronger the eventual breakout tends to be. Combined with the potential long-term moving average crossover, Shiba Inu's technical environment is reflecting conditions seen before major historical rallies in other assets. These indicators do not guarantee movement toward 1,500 units, but they make the pathway credible. Strong on-chain flows, tightening chart structures, and consistent whale activity collectively show that Shiba Inu is building the early foundation of a more powerful range. When analyzing all factors together, a clear pattern emerges. Shiba Inu is displaying behaviors associated with early-stage trend shifts. The stability in price, the strong accumulation, the drop in exchange supply, and the compression of volatility all point toward preparation rather than chaos. This does not mean the token will instantly jump to 1,500 units. Instead, it means Shiba Inu is establishing the groundwork that makes such a target achievable with the right catalysts. The biggest implication is the transformation in market psychology. Shiba Inu is no longer dictated by hype cycles. The community has become more mature, the investors more informed, and the market more disciplined. When tokens transition from hype-driven reactions to structure-driven behavior, their long-term health improves significantly. Shiba Inu may now be entering this stage. This setup suggests that when external catalysts arrive, whether through burn rate improvements, Shibarium adoption, or macro crypto momentum, Shiba Inu may respond far more aggressively than it has in recent months. A move toward 1,500 units requires strong participation, but that participation is already forming quietly beneath the surface. The Shiba Inu community has reacted to recent shifts with a sense of optimism grounded in patience. Discussion threads show traders acknowledging that accumulation is often the silent phase before large expansions. Many long-term holders feel confident that the current consolidation is healthy rather than discouraging. The newfound maturity in community sentiment reflects a transition away from emotional trading and toward rational expectations. Developers have remained mostly silent, which some interpret as focus rather than neglect. Their quiet stance suggests work is ongoing behind the scenes. This approach resonates with seasoned investors who prefer progress over noise. The community now expects meaningful updates instead of dramatic announcements, and this expectation aligns with the overall discipline forming in Shiba Inu's market. In the short-term window of 1 week to 1 month, the primary indicators to watch are continued exchange outflows, stability above foundational ranges, and rising activity within the ecosystem. If accumulation continues alongside rising transaction activity, then Shiba Inu may begin testing the first resistance zones of its consolidation. In the long-term window of 3 months to 3 years, Shiba Inu's movement toward 1,500 units becomes increasingly dependent on ecosystem expansion. Shibarium adoption, improved burn processes, integration milestones, and macro crypto cycles all play important roles in shaping future ranges. If these structural elements align, Shiba Inu has a realistic pathway toward higher units and long-term stability. The broader picture reveals a balanced mix of opportunity and caution. Shiba Inu's accumulation patterns, tightening volatility, and long-term technical structures suggest that something significant may be forming beneath the surface. Yet the journey toward 1,500 units requires patience, steady market participation, and meaningful ecosystem updates. The supply remains large, burns progress slowly, and without strong utility expansion, the token may struggle to break through key resistances. Still, the on-chain strength and community discipline indicate that once momentum arrives, Shiba Inu has the foundation needed to enter a new range confidently. As the charts tighten and accumulation grows, Shiba Inu stands on the edge of what could become a powerful new chapter. The market is calmer, but smarter. The community is patient but confident, and the foundation beneath the price is far stronger than before. Whether Shiba Inu reaches 1,500 units depends on timing, catalysts, and participation, but the early signs suggest something important is forming. Stay focused. The next move is getting closer. The day is over now. Remember to give it a big thumbs up. To see our most recent material, share it and subscribe to the channel.